I have people on my email list who have been here for over 10 years and they still buy things from me. Alrighty, friends. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Jennifer. This is the Jennifer Allwood Show. We're going to have a little different of a podcast today. Now, listen, I feel like every time I say I'm going to do something different today, then I feel like people are like, wah, wah. It's never anything different if you say it's different, but this is different, okay? Because um, most of my listeners are business owners, coaches, consultants. You own a brick and mortar. I've got a lot of listeners, I guess, as well that are not business owners, but by and large are business owners, right? So most business owners I also find are visionaries. And a lot of times visionaries are not huge data people. We're huge dreamers, but we're not big on data. But the truth is like data is so useful, you guys. And so we're going to talk a lot of numbers today. It's going to be a podcast full of nothing but data because data don't lie. That's what I tell all my clients. And sometimes just being able to wrap your head around numbers just like changes the way that you think about something. So we're going to be talking about email by the numbers today. You know that I have been committing to increasing my email list in quarter 1 of 2025. If you listened to one of my very last podcast episodes, I think it's called 4 Things I Did Poorly in 2024. I also could have named it my revenue went backwards in 2024. That feels vulnerable to say, but also that's what the whole podcast was about. And I break down for you 4 reasons why my revenue went down compared to 2023. And one of those reasons is I did not focus enough on building my email list. Normally, we build our email list at least 20 to 25,000 new subscribers in a year's time. And last year we only added 11,000. Totally my fault. So when we're looking at revenue, we're looking at the numbers and we're looking at why we didn't hit the same number we did in 2023. Email was one of those things that is directly responsible for revenue going in a direction that I'm not okay with. So in order to get revenue back to where I want it to be, we're doubling down on our email efforts. So I have been working really hard. I've been doing all the reels, guys. Have you seen them on the Instagrams? I've been doing all the reels. I've been dancing and pointing. Okay, not really, but I have been doing a lot of content talking about email, why it's so important. I did a reel about my friend Kristen from the Red Apron, whose Facebook page was hacked into on January the 2nd. The hackers basically started posting things like sweet prayers on her page and then moved to pictures of houses that she was buying with Bitcoin and then moved to a video of my friend Kristen, her face, her voice, but AI generated words encouraging people to buy Bitcoin. It's so creepy. It's so stinking creepy, you guys. And as AI gets better and creepier in some ways, and by the way, I love AI when it's used in the right way, but AI used for evil is purely evil, right? So in that case, it's being used for evil. And so as that continues to happen more, as reach on social media continues to go down, as people continue to lose their platforms, as things like TikTok continue to be threatening to be pulled from the United States, you have got to be focused on your email as a business owner. You just have to. And so I was talking with my team and I'm like, let's do a podcast with just nothing but numbers and statistics, because there are some of you who are listening today who, like, once you see the proof, like the proof's in the pudding, right? Once you see that in terms of data, because data don't lie, then you're going to be like, okay, all right, Jen, fine. I'll focus on my email. So I'm going to share with you some numbers. Okay. So I'm going to put back on my, they're not readers because they're bifocals. Is that what they're called? What are they? They're progressives. That's what I have. Progressives. All right. I just saw an Instagram memory the other day. I was 46 when I woke up one day and the whole world was blurry. And until that day at 46, I was kind of arrogant about the fact that I had perfect eyesight. I really liked that I had perfect eyesight. And then it's like I woke up one day and my eyes were like, we are tapping out. We're tapping out long distance, short distance, all the distances all at once. So progressives is what we ended up with here. All right. If you have not been convinced yet that you need an email list, or maybe you just need a little bit more motivation, here are some numbers for you. Make note. Okay, here we go. 79% of all consumers, that means people with a credit card that want to buy something, say that they'll give you their email address in exchange for a valuable freebie. 79%. So for those of you who are like, oh, I don't want to send people emails, I don't want to bother them. 80% almost of people are saying, I want to give you my email and I would love your freebie. And so, like, let's just get rid of that excuse, okay, right off the bat. 79% of consumers say they will give you their email for a really great freebie. Personalized emails have a 26% higher open rate. What does that mean? Personalized emails. Like, do you ever get an email? It's like, hey, Jen, or, it's personalized. Okay. And it makes 760% more revenue. Whoa. 760% more revenue, you guys. Your freebie sets the stage for that personalization. If you have followed me for any length of time, I'm going to hold something up here on YouTube. You can watch it. But have you gotten one of those emails from you that says like, hey, Karen, waiting for you inside, or hey, Lucy, join my challenge. Like, hold up a white piece of paper. It's got words on it. Those are personalized emails and they do really, really well. Okay. Another statistic, a high quality freebie can boost your conversion rate by up to 30%. In other words, spend some time making sure that the thing that you're giving away from free has some actual value to it. Emails with engaging opt-in incentives see a 40% higher open rate, which means that your subscribers will stick around and take action. Okay. There are a lot of people that get onto email addresses to grab the freebie, and then they exit left. They immediately unsubscribe. Okay. No shame, but I don't want people doing that to me. I don't want you immediately unsubscribing. So if we have a really engaging opt-in, where it's like a quiz about your business, and then, the incentive is wait for the next email where I'm going to break down for you some things that you can do. Like, that really helps for people just to stick around longer and to not just immediately unsubscribe. Okay. Now here's a big one. Email marketing generates $36, some places say, to $45, other places say, for every dollar spent. It's dependent upon your industry. This is a higher ROI than any other channel. So what does that mean? Well, that means that there used to be a time when we were really able to figure out, if I put $1 into like the Facebook machine, I can get back 5 or I can get back 10. We were able to really kind of determine, what the return on our Facebook ad investment was. Those days are really difficult anymore to figure out what that is. And anymore, if you can spend $1 and make 2, a lot of people are happy. Okay. So it's not the ROI that it used to be. But with an email, for every dollar you put in, you're getting somewhere between $36 and $45 back. Now, here might be your question. Okay, wait, why would I have to spend for email? Well, your email provider, it's never free. There's always a cost to it. Hopefully it's a minimal cost. Okay. A lot of times when you reach, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 people you're sending your emails to, then they'll start charging you to be emailing more. Some of you are needing to take a course on email. So you're needing to do a little bit of investment with your business dollars to figure out, a better way of emailing or getting people on your list or whatever. So for every dollar you spend, like really perfecting your email game, you should receive back $36 to $45. You guys, that is one incredible ROI. The highest email marketing ROI is within the retail sector, within the e-commerce sector. And it's for every dollar you put in, you should get $45 back. Next is marketing and PR agencies, which is every $1 you put in, $42 you should get back. And followed up by software and technology companies. For every dollar you put in, $36 back. Those are some incredible statistics. Okay. So those are just like industry wide and about email in general. But I asked my team if they would put together some data talking points for me for this episode so that you can know, like, as an individual who's not in software tech, who's not, are we a marketing agency? Yes. And do I have software, Equip 360? I do. But really, this is a coaching business, right? So if you're curious, why are words so hard? I don't know. I just got done coaching a woman for the last hour. And so maybe I've just used up all my words for the day. But if you're curious what some of our data is, here's what I will share with you. Our open rate for my emails, and we have over 100,000 on my email list, is consistently over 60%. It's consistently anymore over 60%. The reason it is because our team does an incredible job of cleaning out emails, making sure that people stick around, making sure that we're archiving ones that haven't opened emails, in a certain amount of time, making sure that we're attracting the right people and not just anybody who will give us an email. This is why I tell you guys, don't do like a whole bunch of freebies and a whole bunch of like giveaways, because you're attracting people who are cheap. They're looking to get something for free. Those are not the people that you want getting your emails when you're selling something to them. Okay. So our open rate is consistently over 60%. We've worked really stinking hard to do that. On average, I make at least 75% of all of the company sales from email. Now, the last time we did a launch said, Jennifer, it was over 90%. last time that we had a lunch. That came from like 90% of all the sales came from a client clicking on a buy now button inside of an email instead of a buy now button on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or wherever else I put it. Is that not fascinating? We also have texting. My team texts all the time. So 90% of the sales on our last launch came from our email list. So, and here's what I would say also, the higher your offer, like the higher price your offer, the more likely that more of your sales are going to come from email. Because there is a statistic, and those of you that are watching this on YouTube or just listening to me on one of your podcast apps, statistically speaking, people that listen to podcasts have a higher level of education and a higher amount of discretionary income to spend every month than people who do not listen to podcasts. Because people who do not listen to podcasts are usually the people who are all over social media and just doom scrolling, and they scroll and they scroll and they scroll and they don't get anything done. And so statistically speaking, if you are a podcast listener, you probably have a higher level of education and a higher amount of discretionary income every month. I really think also that your best clients will always be on your email list, number one. And I think that people that get onto your email list usually have a higher education / discretionary income level as well. I really think that. So my team wanted me to share a couple more things with you. I think this is fascinating. I have people on my email list who have been here for over 10 years and they still buy things from me. They have been getting emails from me for over 10 years, you guys. I also have some people on my email list who have been on my list for over 10 years and they just recently made their first purchase. Now, here's like the takeaway from that. If somebody is willing to give you their email address, that means that they are more serious about you than just following you on social media. Okay. So I want you to think about it like this. Social media is like a first date. It really is. It doesn't take a whole lot. Anybody can make it happen. There's a million apps out there for first dates. There's a million social media things. But if you are going to get somebody on your email list, that's basically like they've agreed to a second date with you. They've decided they don't hate you. They find something about you, your company, your business, your product to be attractive enough that they want to have a closer proximity to you. That's why they're getting onto your email list. And so the fact that I have people who have been on my list for over 10 years and just recently made their first purchase, to me says they've been committed enough to continue getting my emails. Maybe the timing wasn't right for a long, long time, but that doesn't mean that we quit emailing people, right? As long as they keep opening and reading things, I'm going to keep sending them emails. And sometimes just, it takes a while. There's some people it takes a while to convince. And so if you are worried about the people you've got on your list who haven't bought from you, in a long time or ever, like don't be, because you just never, ever know when that might happen. Okay. And maybe they're just on your list for a give too. Maybe it's not so that they can spend money with you, but they can have a perspective change. They can have joy in their inbox, depending on what it is that you do. And so it's not always about the sale. So there's that. Email is a long game, friends. It's not a short sprint. If any of you had kids that were in track, in high school, I mean, Easton ran both short distance and long distance. And email is a long game. It's setting yourself up for future profitability. It's like insurance. It's a mature thing to do. I believe that it is good stewardship of the business that God gave you on this side of heaven, because even if your social media goes sideways, at least you have your email to fall back on, which is what my friend Kristen from the Red Apron has had to do. So email is the long game, but it's always the profitable long game. Okay. And my team did go a little bit further to stats, and they said that 10 to 20% of the people that are on my list do spend money with me within the first 6 months. 10 to 20%. 1 to 2 out of every 2 people that get on my list spend money with me within the first 6 months that they're on the list. I think that's fascinating also. So what you can gather from all of that is that a couple of things are important. Okay. 1, that you have an email list. 2, that you get people onto your email list. If you don't know how to do that, it's by having a really good freebie, which is also called a freemium or an opt-in. You've got to have something that's good, that's juicy, that people want to sign up for so that they get onto your list. This is what I'm teaching in my challenge that starts on January 21st. I hesitate to even call it a challenge, but I'm going to be teaching on the 21st, 22nd, 23rd for an hour each morning on email and how to get people onto your list, how to come up with a really juicy offer, attracting your ideal person so that they want to get on your list so that you can grow your list, not just so you can grow your list, but so you can grow your bank account. And so if that's something you need to do, please go to jenniferallwood.com/challenge. If you have never done one of these classes, workshops, challenges with me, I think that I'm fun. Can I just say that if you're watching this on YouTube, will you comment below if you've taken something from me before? I find myself funny. I think I'm fun. I think I make something like email interesting because the truth is there are parts of business that are just like wah wah wah, but we still have to do them because we want to make dollars, right? And so if you have a business that's not making dollars, look at how much effort have you put into your email list. Have you grown it? Are you using it? Are you getting people on it every single day? Because you need to be. And so go right now to jenniferallwood.com/challenge and get signed up. Start next week. It's completely free. Yes, there's an upsell if you want to buy a workbook, if you love taking notes, if you want to do the war room with me, which is like I'll start with prayer, I'll do a lot of Q&A personalized to you and your business. I'll pray where God says to pray, I'll prophesy where God says prophesy, I'll end with prayer, but it's going to be a much smaller group. The war room is where you're able to ask me questions that are individual to your circumstance and to your business. So join me in the war room if you can. But again, it's at jenniferallwood.com/challenge. And goodness, I hope that all these numbers just floated your boat for those of you that love data. For those of you that are super analytical, like Nell, who put all this together, thank you, Nell. I hope that this data just made your day, just hearing numbers and all of the things. And just keep in mind, even if you hate data, even if you hate email, there's a lot of people that love email, even if you hate it. And just because you don't like something is not a reason to not get really good at it and use it to your advantage. Okay. So I'll see you at jenniferallwood.com/challenge in just a couple days. All right, friends. See you soon. Bye. I had a little frog in my throat, Easton.